Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Preetha back with my 5 minutes of authenticity. And if you've been subscribing and listening in, then you know this month of July, we are focusing on overwhelm. Last week, we talked about recognizing it and giving it a name and acknowledging it in ourselves. Today, we will focus on what is the cost of overwhelm. Where does it slowly start to chip into our very authentic being, and what is the result or the outcome of living in that state of overwhelm? Now, I want you to ask yourself a question. When was the last time you gave yourself some permission to slow down? Just keep that in mind. I like to put in a question and then we talk more, and I want you to reflect on that in that context. All right. So when was the last time you gave yourself a little bit of time to pause, to slow down? And if you didn't, why didn't you? Okay. Now let's look at the whole ripple of overwhelm. It starts with, like I mentioned last time, it's because of a lot of stimulus that comes at us and various commitments that we are often tied down to that cannot be prioritized. All of it is important. All of it is urgent, right? So it doesn't just clutter our calendars, it clouds our connections. Because once we're overwhelmed, we are not very kind to ourselves. And I will go back to this over and over, ladies and gentlemen. And I try to impress upon this in every episode, is that when we are unkind to ourselves, by not acknowledging the overwhelm we're going through, we start snapping at our loved ones. We are unkind to the people around us because we're tapped out. We're only human beings, but here we are trying to be the martyr, trying to be in the Superman or the Superwoman who can do it all. So we can start snapping at people, or we start to withdraw, or we start to people please because we feel, this will make us a little more likable. This will make us feel a little bit more in control of a situation. And what happens is, once we keep getting in that circle over and over again, if you go back to the question I asked you, is when did you give yourself permission? Invariably and inadvertently, we have given others permission to decide how we should feel. And suddenly we are withdrawn, we are numb, when we should actually be feeling joy. Right? So how do you respond when all of it feels too much? What do you do? Do you withdraw? Do you snap? Do you take on more? Do you live in denial? What do you do? Or do you use that activity bandwagon that you're in as your very, very personal crutch and your desire to feel needed and wanted? What do you do? It's a hard question. Ask yourself. Now, obviously, the fact remains that when we are overwhelmed, our creativity shrinks because we're more drawn into getting things done. We start to get into decision fatigue because even little things feel like huge chores. Deciding what to cook for dinner seems like so much of a huge taxing activity on our minds. And then even having fun is no longer fun. And we start to get into should haves and could haves, and everything is under the calendar, because if I didn't do this, we're living in kind of a constant domino effect. Okay. The irony is that in most cultures, we are praised for being able to juggle. I will give you an example. I decided to be a stay-at-home mom because I knew that's what I wanted to do. Now, during that time, it was so interesting to see that the moms who decided to work and juggle it all, be the best they could be at work and at home, faced a certain kind of judgment. Those of us who decided to stay home often were asked, what the heck do you do all day? Change diapers? So, point being made is that it doesn't matter who you're trying to please or what you're trying to do. There is a cost that comes with not giving attention to yourself. And so there is so much that we do. It is okay to pause. We give ourselves permission to do that. Seriously, there is no trophy for burnout. It is the only gift you get is the increasing chasm or the distance that you are from an authentic life to the life that you're living. You just keep increasing that distance. Okay. So that is what happens when we let overwhelm take over, right? When we choose to not pause, when we choose to not acknowledge. So I would end today by asking you a simple question: is what might your life feel like if you weren't overwhelmed? What is the one area in your life that you wish you could do more, but you're not able to? Okay. Would you like to go on a walk? Would you like to go on hikes? Would you like to catch a few more movies? Would you like to read a book? Would you like to spend more time playing an instrument? Would you like to do some more gardening? What is the one area in your life that you really wish you could spend more time on, but you're not able to? Okay, that's one question. Second question. Go through your entire day and write down one thing that really drained you and one thing that nourished you. And then go back to those two and think about why. Okay? Think about why. Why did something drain you? And why did something nourish you? And what is that one thing that you wish you could do more, but you're not able to? And see if you can find a correlation. I challenge you on this. Okay. Next time, we'll talk about this domino effect and see what can we do to interrupt some of it. What can we do to pause some of that and take some steps so that we are not constantly living in the eye of the storm. Till then, this is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity, coming to you from your favorite podcast channel. Thank you.